What's up, people? This is Nature Girl 30 here, and this is my first Q&A of 2013. Q&A, or my mini Q&A number 9. And I want to thank you guys so much for literally sticking by me for 2012, and I'm hoping to actually gain more people to be more involved in these videos for 2013. And I want to thank you guys so much. I know that I think it was Nintendo Fanboy or Brandon NBA 2K. It was one of those guys. I think you guys had a lot more questions for me, but I have to look for them because they're somewhere archived in my email. So it's gonna take a minute for me to go back and look up all those questions because I know I answered like one of a whole list. So I'm gonna go back and see if I can try to find them. And actually, when I find them, I'll probably put them in my next Q&A. But for right now, I'm gonna go into Final Limits 1. He left me a ton of questions, so I'm going to actually go into them as quick as possible because while I'm doing this now, it's actually the night of TNA Genesis, so I want to make sure that I'm actually stay tuned to that, even though I'm not really sure what's going on. But anyway, let's get into this Q&A. Okay, his first question for me is thoughts on Raven. I was a big fan of Raven during the whole Attitude Era days, especially the fact that he wore a kilt, and even though it was kind of weird for a guy to wear a kilt, at that time it kind of gave him an edge. And I really did like him, especially the fact that you really did not. He's kind of an enigma. Like, he was the true enigma, not like this whole Jeff Hardy thing at first. Jeff Hardy, he was only an enigma because of his face paint at the time, but Raven was literally an enigma to me. You couldn't really figure him out, and that's why I love this character. He was not so predictable, and I loved Raven for that reason. Okay. Thoughts on our friend Cream Crazy. I love Cream Crazy. I love the fact that Cream Crazy is a Sonic fan just like me. I am a huge Sonic fan. I love Sonic. And Sonic 2 will forever be, Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 will forever be one of my favorite games to ever play. I played Sonic 1, but I wasn't into it. But either or, I love Cream Crazy. Plus, he should literally copyright that name and make an ice cream flavor out of it, because Cream Crazy sounds like something you would literally make that they would make at Baskin Robbins. So I love his name and I love Cream Crazy. Okay, thoughts on NJ and people who make fun of his nose and the face he makes on his videos. I wouldn't be surprised if they're talking about Wrestling Jesus and how that he made fun of the British Fist, but NJ is definitely a really good friend of mine. He's a really close friend of mine because he's a great guy to talk to. There was a point in my life to where it was really difficult for me to, I lost my best friend, and my best friend died it's been about 2 years since my best friend passed away, and at the time I didn't have a chance to mourn because I had a lot of things that happened in my life as well, that it was like one big giant whammy, bam, 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 bam. And then his death happened with all that happening, and my mind wasn't right, but I had to put it all in the back of my mind. But when I actually moved from Georgia to here, it kind of kicked in, and it was really hard to deal with my emotions. And the person that I really didn't even expect to talk to at first was NJ, and we had a really great friendship that pretty much passed on to now. And for that first year, he was really there for me, and I really do like the guy, and I think that he is awesome. And his videos are really good because it shows a different side of him. It shows him outside of the whole wrestling arena, that his whole wrestling expertise, and it shows him as a person, as a man. And that's the reason why I love NJ's videos, and I think that NJ is absolutely awesome guy, and I think everyone should check out his videos. And regardless of the faces that he makes, that's how he is. He's a goofball. He likes to have fun, and that's just how he is. So for people that don't really like that, deal with it. That's how he is, and he shouldn't change himself for anyone, especially for the fans. So my imaginary hat, I tip it off to NJ, and be as silly as you want to be, man. And he is definitely a really close friend of mine. I have nothing but good to say about him. But moving on from there. Have you played any GTA games? And if so, what is your favorite? San Andreas was probably the funniest GTA game I've ever played. Miami is awesome. But seriously, San Andreas was probably, because you never really seen a GTA that had all black people in it. So besides the fact that it had all black people in it, it was a straight up outrageous hood, like hustler kind of thing. And I loved it for that reason. So yeah, San Andreas is like my favorite. Thoughts on Wrestling Jesus? I got no beef on Wrestling Jesus at all. He has his opinions, and even though his videos are pretty much rants towards saying how much Cena sucks or something sucks or 10 reasons why something sucks, that's his gimmick, and that's his spiel, his turn on things, and that's how he rolls. So I have no problem with that. That's just how he is. Are you subscribed to any gamers here on the on YouTube? I like Play with Peter. I love Play with Peter because even though Peter is just doing nothing but actually playing video games and you seeing it, I just love his commentary, and also the fact that I love watching other people play the games, see how they enjoy it before I decide to buy it. This is how I do things. I love the Peanut Butter Gamer, especially his top 10 list. I love the Peanut Butter Gamer, and I pretty much watch his critique on things. There's certain other gamers that I actually do watch. There was one gamer that I just subscribed to that is a huge Sonic fan, and I love Sonic the Hedgehog, and he did his top 10 list. I'm a stickler for top 10 lists. I've also like subscribed to a whole lot of other gamers because I like playing video games, as well as Screw Attack and Machinima, you know, the common ones that you usually see, and IGN. I always watch IGN reviews before I actually go and buy a game. That's just me. But I have several others that's on my list. Moving on from there, what do you think of IJustine and Jenna Marbles and BF versus GF? I haven't seen BF versus GF. I have seen IJustine. I have seen Jenna Marbles. The one thing is that, okay, it's a given why you see a lot of female YouTubers with so many hits. And I'm not hating on them at all. It's just not my shtick. But I know that I guess I'm not really into that type of humor. And I know IJustine does have some comedy on her channel. I've watched maybe a couple of snippets of it. But I don't watch a lot of female YouTubers because there's one reason and one reason alone why they get hits. TNA. And I'm not talking about the wrestling show. I'm talking about boobies. That's pretty much it. And because they're females and because how they dress and because how cute they are. That's pretty much it. If you don't have any substance on your channels, I'm not going to pay any attention to it because that's just me. I'm not down with all that. And I'm not hating on them for them doing what they do. I'm just saying. And I guess a BF versus GF, I haven't watched it, but that's something I'm probably going to at least take a look at and see how it is. And if it's funny, I'll probably subscribe to it. If not, meh. You know, that's just me. I'm not hating on anyone and saying that anybody sucks. I'm just saying it's just the fact that I'm just not into anything that doesn't have substance. That's just me. But moving on from there. What if the leader of the Aces and Eights was revealed to be John Cena? And how would the IWC and YWC react to that? I highly doubt that ever happened. But if that was the case, I would be like, really? That's the best you can do? I really wouldn't be excited about it. Thoughts on Hillary Duff? I'm going to be for real. I was a huge Lizzie McGuire fan. That was my guilty pleasure. I love anything about Lizzie McGuire. My homegirl, Tama Girl 101, Shalithia, she got me into Lizzie McGuire. She got me hooked on Lizzie McGuire. I watched Lizzie McGuire from the beginning of the season to the end and to the movie. And I was addicted to anything Lizzie McGuire. So I can't hate on Hillary Duff. She's a great actress. But now she's kind of left the whole Disney realm, became a woman, grew up, had a baby, got married. That happens. So my hat goes off to Hillary Duff as well. I love her as an actress. I love her as Lizzie McGuire. And it's sad they couldn't do a high school one. But, you know, that happens. Have you ever been arrested? No, and I really don't want to be. Would you go out with a white guy on a date? I have dated white guys, and I've had relationships with a lot of black guys, but I've dated a white guy. And honestly, it is kind of a different dynamic because of maybe the whole cultural thing, but I actually like dating white guys. I'm not hating on black guys, but I just like dating white guys. They're fun to be around. They don't really have a lot of restrictions on what they do. They like having fun, and they don't think about it. And that's why I like, if I ever date another white guy again, I have pretty much white guy admirers, but that I admire. But if I ever had the opportunity to date a white guy, I would, because they're fun. They don't really care about what's going on, and they don't think of their reputation about just being silly. And I'm not talking about like going out there and throwing eggs at a cop or whatever. I'm just talking about like literally taking your shoes off and jumping in the water with all your clothes on at a beach. Like something crazy like that. They don't care. They just go out and do it. And that's why I like white guys for that reason. But anyway, do you ever watch MTV's Buck Wild? No. No, I don't. Will Maurice and the Bella Twins ever return to WWE? There's really no reason for Maurice to actually go back, because let's face it, her success in the House of Maurice, she has a lot of success outside of the ring. So I really don't understand why she would come back. The Bella Twins, their whole twin gimmick is kind of played out. They would have to literally reinvent themselves or be separate from everyone else in order for them to be popular again. Like Nikki couldn't be around Brie. They would have to be separate. They would have to have their separate singles and separate anything else, and not just be valets. But the biggest thing is the Divas division sucks right now, so the only place they can pretty much go to have at least a little bit of airtime is TNA. But I honestly don't see that happening at this point. Okay, moving on to the final question, and this is from Brandon NBA 2K. Why do you think the WWE fired John Morrison? I think you asked me this before, but I can't remember, so please correct me if I'm wrong if I haven't answered this. Or if I have answered this. Honestly, I think I probably answered this before, but anyway, just tell me if I have. I really do believe that there's just like, a lot of people believe that there was really nothing much to John Morrison. There was just too much flipping and flair and all this other stuff, but he really didn't have anything to offer. In my opinion, I really felt that John Morrison actually had a lot to offer. I feel like that for his character, there was a lot of tweaking that they could have done. But the whole thing behind the scenes that he had with his girlfriend at the time, I forgot her name, but you know, the backstage stuff that he had with Melina kind of ruined him, kind of ruined his career. So if it wasn't for the fact that he dated Melina and all those problems that was caused by Melina, I think that things would have been better for him and he would have been able to stay in the business. But with all that controversy, they just didn't feel like dealing with it, and it probably canned for that reason. But honestly, he decided to walk out on his own with a little bit of dignity. But it's a shame that he didn't have a chance to be a WWE champion at that time. So, moving on to this next question. Do you hate John Cena? No. And I still can't figure out why people hate him. Because hating anybody, that means, shoot, that's a freaking strong word. I can't admit, the reason why I don't hate him is because of the fact that I came from the golden era. I remember the golden era of the true faces, the truth, justice, and the American way faces, the faces that don't deviate from anything. And that is what John Cena represents to me in the PG era right now. He is working his character. He's working his character to the best of his ability. Just because he doesn't go heel, or just because he doesn't go in this direction, does not mean that he should not be. I mean, that does not mean that the guy sucks. I mean, it doesn't mean that way at all. Sure, he has the same 5 moves of doom or whatever. But the thing about it is, that is what he's supposed to do. He is a true-to-life golden babyface. That is who he is. And he plays it well. He sucks as a heel. He was a heel for the first time he came on the screen. And did that work? No, he sucked at it. But people are still hating on him because of the fact that he decided to stay face. All I have to say about that is, so what? You know? But I don't hate on John Cena for that reason. I don't like the fact of how they are booking him. And he needs to be to the point where he's at his lowest of the low. And he needs to build himself up like the whole Rocky Maivia thing. Not Maivia, but Rocky Balboa. Like he builds himself up like Rocky Balboa. And if they actually put him against a huge giant or someone that's bigger than him, a huge heel that's bigger than him, then he'll be able to overcome all odds and people start loving him again and relating to him. But it's the fact of how he's booked. So it's not so much that John Cena sucks, it's how he's booking. I mean, his booking is the one thing that sucks. That's just my opinion of the whole thing. But thanks, guys, for actually sending me these questions. If you have any questions for me, please send it to my YouTube inbox. I wouldn't put it in the comment section because I'm probably not going to see it. It's only in small occasions when I actually do leave comments in the comment section for some of my videos. So please send it to me in my YouTube inbox so I'll be able to categorize it and I'll be able to actually put it back on the air because that's how I am. I'm that kind of person. But anyway, this is Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.